Hey, this is Sri Vishwanath here, and welcome to episode number 3 of the Ask Sri Vishwanath Vedanta show. And today's question comes from Brain Small from New York. He asks, why does self-realization take so much time? What are the ways to shorten the process? So I'm just shortening the question. What are the ways to shorten the process of self-realization? So this is a very, powerful question by itself. Now, most of the time since I do consulting calls, people tell me, oh, I've done 10 years of transcendental meditation, I've done 20 years of transcendental meditation, what can you teach me? So the first thing I tell them is, I can teach you that you need not have to go through all that. And then they get very annoyed. Most people do, you start with meditation. It's one of the reasons why most don't get liberation. You have to start with prayer. And why does one start with meditation? Now, here's the thing. Because inside, everyone wants some power, mind power. That's the reason people start with meditation. But spirituality has got nothing to do with mind power. Vivekananda says in his poem, behold, it comes in might, the power that is not power. So if you take away all your powers, mind powers, what remains, that is the Atman. So the first step is you have to stop experiencing and start visualizing. That's the first step. 99% don't get it. They meditate, and then after 20 years, they don't even realize what they're doing. They're just stuck up in the intellect. The intellect gets better and better, and they feel they're not. So you have to start with prayer. The reason is because you have to get very good in visualization. Experience, the only purpose of experience is to realize in the end that you did not need an experience to attain self-realization. That's what experience is for. You have to realize why we want to experience. So we have to know what is Jiva. You see, Jiva, I'll tell you something about Jiva which you might not have heard. So whenever a person dies, right, we have got Jiva. Jiva is called the Embodied Soul. Whenever this Jiva leaves the body, it makes sure that another body is already formed in this current body. Then it leaves this body. See? So Jiva is so protective, like, person, only if I get another job, I'll take another. So Jiva, through many, many lifetimes, it has seen death, every single thing. And it doesn't care. All it wants is perpetuity. It wants to go again and again to another body. So it understands that. So the only reason it wants you in it, it wants you to be a slave of experience. The reason we want to experience and feel is because we are in the subtle body. So you have to give up this need for experience and realize, as Vivekananda says, all you need is 1 unit of concentration, which is just 12 seconds. So the first step is, you should always start with prayer, a simple prayer to Krishna, to Ram, to Goddess Kali, to whatever God or goddess you. Simple prayer. Because with prayer, you establish a relationship with God. That's the first. Meditation is just fancy. You can keep, meditation is all when you are very good in establishing relationship, then you can meditate. Those who know meditate, here people are meditating to know, they're doing exactly the opposite. The entire world. And they feel, oh, I know this. From my personal experience, I know I've done this for 20 years. Those who meditate are more selfish than those who don't. And I can tell you that most people will not even agree because they don't even know what they're doing. You have to start with prayer. Because your job is to get good in visualization. So stop experiencing, start visualizing. Realize why you want to experience, because you're a slave of experience. So give up that. That is called vairagya, renunciation. See, it's a first step. It's very powerful. If you get good in visualization, it's called bhavrajya. This experience is called manorajya. The reason why people don't get it, because they're listening to all wrong. So all these popular teachers, because it's $1 billion business out there. You have to realize that. If you want to connect to your Atman fast and save 3 decades, 4 decades? Start with prayer. Establish the relationship and get very good in visualization. And you can go to www.magicofgod.com. I've got free lessons and it will help you. Second tip, okay? Yoga. Now there is another section of people, because of this craze for yoga, they feel, oh, I'm doing this yoga, that yoga, and so I'm. The fruit of yoga, Shankaracharya says, is samadhi, not liberation, not moksha. See, the reason why someone does anything in spirituality is to attain moksha. Moksha means you're not born again. Yoga does not give you moksha. Is that very clear? So most don't know, 99% don't know. They feel yoga's fruit is samadhi. Samadhi is not needed for liberation. This is another thing which most people do. It's another experience. Some get it, some don't. The way one gets liberation is called Tattva Jnana. That's what is in Vedanta. So the reason why yoga is practiced is to prepare you for the highest teachings of Vedanta. That is why yoga is practiced. So Vivekananda says in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna talks about the 4 yogas. But he says that teaching is incidental. The main thing what Krishna taught was about the Atman. Atman, I am the Atman. That is the teaching. That is the teaching. That teaching is what you should take to heart. This all is a fad. Oh, why? Because people are slaves of power. I want this, I want light to come from here. Well, you are light. What light do you want to come from your nose or your forehead? Or some snake or some kundalini? People don't even know what they are talking about. I'll tell you something about kundalini so that people, will not spend much time in that. Ramakrishna, once a woman devotee was feeding him. And as she was feeding him, Ramakrishna, that woman devotee, suddenly got scared and went back. So Ramakrishna said, what did you see? Don't get afraid. She saw a real snake-like thing. That was Ramakrishna. He never even spoke. That was how it is for them. Here people are all imagining. There's a difference between imagination and visualization. That's why when you pray, you get good in visualization. When you meditate, when you do yoga, you have false visualization. That word false visualization, the 2 words, it's called avidya in Sanskrit. It is the reason why people take millions and millions of lifetimes. Got it? So that's the second tip, is that the fruit of yoga is samadhi. So you should not confuse. If you want liberation, you should move to Vedanta. So you can do your yoga if you like, but that is not going to get you the liberation. This is very, very important to know. The third point which is there is you should learn from the right source. See? Now most people just learn from okay, I'm going to do meditation, I'm going to do yoga, and it's only going to increase your intellectual power. If you want to learn, you have to learn from the best. Who are the best? Ramakrishna, Vivekananda, Adi Shankaracharya. So I spend my entire... You have to learn from those who are the best, not from those who are promising you some powers. Because those very powers will make you miserable. You don't need them. You see, you don't need the powers. You need connection with God, relationship with the Atman. And so that is one of the most important things. All these popular spiritual teachers are just taking you for a ride, keeping you in yoga and meditation, giving you all these 100 million powers. And in the end, it's not solving anything in your relationships, money, or this thing. And even if it's solving, it's not going to get you to the liberation. This is very, very important. So these are the 3 things which you should realize. Stop experiencing, start visualizing. So get good in prayers. Yoga only leads you to samadhi. It does not attain you to liberation. And third is learn from the right source. And so if you want more, you can go to www.magicofgod.com, magicofgod.com, magicofgod.com, where you can get 5 free Vedanta lessons. And I'll be back tomorrow again. Thank you and God bless.